All right, so the whole idea with Google filters and why I want to show you guys what we're going to be doing with them is if we are at a point right now where you're like, Charlie, I have a couple products, but I'm just still unsure. I just kind of want to find a few more or cross-check or whatever. Well, most likely what you have is you have these big ideas. And what we're going to do is we're going to put your big ideas that are broad niches, broad niches. And I'm going to give you guys a ton of examples in a few minutes. And we're going to put them through kind of these Google filters, right? There's a bunch of filters, a bunch of things. Oh, we want to sort by price, by category, by texture. There's going to be a ton of filters. And it's going to start splitting now our ideas into different segments in different directions that we can go. This is the overarching idea of Google filters. It's literally the same, like what I kind of mentioned in the beginning, where we're just trying to find ideas that we wouldn't have naturally found already. This is just another tool I'm giving to you guys. So that way it's almost impossible to end up with a bad product. You're gonna have so many products to try that you're just going to have a choice of which great product you wanna try first. So let's get into it. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this to action. So for example, let's just say that we wanted to get into shoe inserts and we're like, you know, Charlie, I want to find a product. I want to get a little bit more specific and get more ideas. I've been researching in this industry and I just kind of want more clarity. I'd be like, okay, well, you know how we usually like to look right here as far as the listings, be like, oh, what's in the front? This is also a good idea. Well, if you need more ideas and you want to see what else is a good idea in this subset or under this umbrella of a niche, then what we can do is we click on shopping and it'll take us to a view like this where we have filters on the left and still rankings on the right. And so the reason why this is going to be interesting is because we will see the most popular searches based off of the filter that we give. So now it doesn't really matter if, okay, shoe inserts, all right, this is the most popular shoe insert or the highest click-through rate or blah, 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 blah. Now what we could do is this is the highest ranked shoe insert based on the price being $30 to $45 or based on the purpose of this insert. Does that kind of make sense where I'm going with this? So for example, if I was looking through, I don't actually want to filter by price right off the bat. I don't like doing that because these are kind of all in the general same price range. It's not a big deal. What I like is seeing, oh, there's something called height increasing. I thought that was interesting. So I'm like, okay, let's see what this is. I would have never even thought of that. And let's see what's ranked more towards the top, and let's see what's kind of ranked more towards the top and make sure it's not, you know, Best Buy or anything. Okay, great. So let's see what's ranked more towards the top and kind of go from there. So this looks like more of a drop shipper. Interesting, definitely angled towards women. Height increase, okay. See, like this is an industry I would have definitely never even, I didn't even know this existed. Height lift. So what this is telling me is that there is actual demand and that this could be a possible good idea. Because if I go into here, first of all, definite dropshipper. This absolutely is horrendous. But what's good is when I see some dropshippers kind of ranking high in kind of terms like this, shoe inserts, then first of all, I know that their landing page sucks. Second of all, I know that their listing is terrible. But if they're still going to allow their Google Ads account to spend money on this, then I know that they are at least either break even or somewhat profitable. Does that make sense? So when I see this, I'm just like, okay, so somehow they're making this work at least a little bit. Right? That's a good benchmark. And another thing is that I know there's demand because I see that there's other people selling. And third, I see that there's actual what looks to be a one product store, which remember is a one product store the end all be all what I'm trying to find in order for me to pull the trigger on a product? Absolutely not. A lot of my winners and a lot of my great products, I actually took an idea, let's just say from a general store or just from some random competitors. And I go and now I create my opportunity by following all the stuff that I'm covering in this course, by having the optimized landing page, by having the best ads, by literally following the exact protocol that I mentioned throughout this course. That's how I create my huge opportunity in Blue Ocean. It's not by looking and finding someone who has a one product store and saying, oh, finally, okay, I'm safe. I can now maybe milk some of their traffic. That's not like how it works, but this does validate the idea that you're going in the right direction. And yes, by the way, you can see this one product store and be like, well, I can do it way better. And then you can go ahead and blow them out of the water. So let's actually see what else. If I wanted to look at their traffic, I doubt there's any traffic. Yeah. So that there's no way. But if we go through here, I want to see what else we have. So I already clicked on this one. And see, I'm still scrolling down because I just want to see lift kits. Well, another thing what I would probably do is actually type in like height lift insert lift kit insole and see if there's actually search traffic. If there's search volume and people typing that in, like this is definitely a very well branded store. However, their landing page is not very good, but no one would go through all of this trouble to have this kind of product in store and branded. You could see that they actually branded their product unless it was actually selling. You'd be surprised on like the weird dinky stores that you think, there's no way that they're making any money. They somehow make a good amount, just a very, very good amount. Interesting, and they even have a video. So this is a very, very good way to find little tiny covets under this big umbrella that you might have had before, now to give you a new idea. Now remember, where did we start before? Well, we started back here. Like, hey, I want to get into some shoe inserts. And now we ended with an actual idea that we can go ahead and look into, right? So this is how we just narrowed it down. Let me show you some other examples. So this example I actually found by going through Alibaba links, and I found Firefighter Wallet, and I thought that was interesting. So I actually wanted to look at these guys. These guys are very interesting. I didn't see these guys yet, and I wanted to see, because there's also 1,000 people searching a month for Firefighter Wallet. So there's what, a specific wallet just for firefighters? Like that's interesting. And another thing is if you guys look at the Ridge, this is a very, I actually have this. This is a very good company that made an entire brand just off of wallets. So obviously there's a big market for this. Like if I just show you guys, because we can go to here, this is by far a legitimate company. So look, they have over 1 million visitors a month. Insane. But what I would just wanted to say is that wallets, just selling wallets is a big industry. So when I looked at this, I was like, okay, interesting. There's something called the Fire Store. And I would be curious to see if this is their main driver or not. And then I also looked obviously at this is just a recycled wallet. Their angle is similar to the angle that I mentioned before with the 4Ocean bracelets, where they're using recycled goods. I'm not saying you have to, in order to tie in emotion, you have to use recycled goods. But I am saying by tying in some kind of emotion or good feel, a customer is more likely to purchase over and over, and it gives you a marketing angle when truthfully you're really just selling a wallet. Very, very, very simple wallet too. So without boring you guys, what I would truthfully do is I would see, okay, interesting. Now we have a new umbrella, the Fire Store or firefighting or this firefighting niche, and I would see, how can I fit myself in there? What is a good product? Is it this? And how would I figure out if it is this? Well, one thing I like to do is I'll copy their name, and then I'll go back into here. So I'll copy their name and I'll paste it right here, and I'm gonna click search. And what this is gonna do, it's going to give me everything that has this name right here. It's going to give me kind of their top listings, and on top of that, I want to make sure I go under seller and filter just by this seller. So now anything that they have published to Google, which is most likely all of their products, now I can see their top products. And so most likely what their top products are is this mystery box, yes, this wallet, and a very simple looking backpack. Everything else below this is most likely just auxiliary products. And if I really wanted to double check, which I'll show you guys right now, so if I go to their homepage, naturally what someone is going to do is they are going to have their homepage structured in a way where they structure their best sellers. So most likely it's their wallet and their backpack bestsellers. If we scroll down, here we go, boom. Like their bestseller is usually going to be up in the front, okay, and then we look and we see their backpack. So yes, this strategy or this idea definitely cross-checked, and I would do the same thing for kind of the other company as well, right? Does that make sense? So if I want to really segment, we kind of follow that same strategy that I did with shoe inserts. We just keep on going narrow and using different filters. But let me show you more examples. If we go, now another way I use this is by looking into industries, but dissecting it by just putting shop at the end. So for example, if I'm like, okay, I want to look into massage or firefighter or whatever, I'll say massage and then shop or store at the end. So when I type this in, I see, okay, what's coming up under just a very broad term, and I see, interesting. So I see these are coming up, and if I wanted to see what was most popular and have just excluded like eBay, Best Buy, so I would individually click all these. Now, before I even needed to click any of these, I saw immediately this. And the reason why this caught my attention was because this was ranking for the term massage, and it's not even in the title. Instead, it's only in the description, which is a very weak way to try to rank for anything, yet it's ranking quite high against very high competitive products. So I was like, this is interesting. So I open it, and what I saw was that this is very, very, very nice as far as a landing page, super focused on one product, and obviously it's branded because it's working. And I like the angle of this. And also, truthfully, it's honestly very simple. I don't see any SKUs. I don't see too much complication. It's other than you're gonna probably need like a user manual of like, okay, you put on these straps and press a couple buttons. Like it looks very simple and very interesting to me. So I like this. So if I wanted to, I'd actually probably go on Alibaba and start looking into kind of full leg massage, kind of things that under massage that maybe look similar to this. So this is very interesting to me, and I would go deeper on this. But remember, it's not about what products I'm showing you, it's about how I got there and what I personally do to find these ideas. And another thing is, remember how I mentioned the bulletproof vest? Well, it's a great industry, and if I wanted to, I could filter by price and now see, okay, which kind of segment do I want to fit myself into? What is the most popular vest that is selling around 150 and below? And I could see, I'm like, this is interesting. I'm like, okay, what is the most popular vest that is maybe selling at 250? Ooh, interesting, right? So now I can kind of mess around with these filters. But another thing is I could see like all the sellers in this industry and see, okay, what can I learn from them? Is there a way for me to fit in there? One thing though is I've noticed these guys quite a bit, and if I look and I open their website, I want to kind of go a little bit deeper, and I want to see that they have a lot of products. So what I would do is the same strategy. I would type in bullet safe. So let's do that. So I want to type in bullet safe vests and see what is their hottest product, and it looks to be this right here. So if I wanted to say, okay, I want to get in this space, but I don't want to invest a ton of money because I don't want to go and have a bunch of SKUs. So let me just try this product and see where it goes, because it looks like this is a good one. This is in bandana, very interesting. I like it. I mean, you can see like a top 3 or 4, and this is how you can hedge your bets a lot more efficiently, in my opinion. So that is really, really interesting. Now, there is something I wanted to show you guys that I thought was really funny. So this is a company called Posh Peanut, and there's a guy that I follow. His name's Nick Shackelford, and he loves scaling brands. He'll take like a legitimate looking brand, which this is, but then use heavy marketing tactics to scale it up, right? And so this silly, I mean, it's not silly, but it's very simple. This simple brand scaled to over $800,000 a month in revenue by selling simple items. And so before you think like, oh, okay, I'm gonna sell a weird product or something odd, that's just one angle. You can actually take this same idea and sell simple products, because this idea of optimizing and using Google Ads is so underrated. No one knows how to do it the best way at all, that almost everything is a likely opportunity. So if you see, for example, this is a simple product but has search volume and is also not a bad idea. It could definitely work, and we can see what is kind of coming up to the top, and we can maybe hedge our bets once again on what would be a good design or a good idea to kind of go with, right? So I don't want to keep repeating myself, and we could do this over and over. I actually typed in a random niche self-defense supplies. I literally got this from going through the Alibaba links, and I immediately found this Tiger Lady. Like, I can immediately tell by the store. This is, hilarious. But running safety grips. What a great product. And what I could do is now type in running safety grips and start applying filters to see kind of great ideas, better ideas, price ranges, and just kind of keep going and rinsing and repeating, right? Same thing with mannequins. Remember how I mentioned this before? If I wanted to find a good idea with a mannequin, I can go down here under category, be like, okay, what kind of mannequins? And I'll type in, oh, Halloween figurines. So I click and look. Now instead of mannequins, we're in figurines. And this, okay, actually, this is a great idea in my opinion. I like this. People, they spend an enormous amount of money on this one holiday just to make their house look really good. So there's a huge vanity factor, and people will spend a lot of money in order to make their house look really, really cool, and they feel obligated every single year to make it look cooler and cooler. So it's like, it just doesn't end. So I thought this was actually a really, really, really good idea. What is kind of the main action of this video? Well, it's to kind of do what we did in the beginning. Take your broad idea and apply this by going through the filters and doing it even in your own style. Copy what I did in this video, but even kind of click around and you'll see what is ranking at the top, what has a likelihood of actually converting and getting more sales than maybe some other idea that you saw before. And on top of that, just make sure when you're going through all of this that you're cross-checking it with the other lists that I gave you in the other videos. There are so many tools at your disposal, so go ahead, apply this, and I'll see you guys in the very next